Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ghost in the Cloud, your anime podcast, where each week we discuss anime news, TV shows, and movies. We're going to do a special one this week, talking about our experience at AnimeNYC, the first anime con. With me is my co-host Bridget.
Hey.
And our special guest Blake.
Watashi wa wibu desu. Haha. Hello. Hello. Starting strong.
Yep.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Normally we do some anime news. However, because
this week it's all about news.
Yeah, because it's a special week, we're going to skip that. But we are going to do a word of the week. So, Bridget, Blake, why don't you guys jump in for that?
All right, so word of the week this week. I don't know why I keep clapping my hands. It's a thing. Word of the week this week is otaku, which means geek or outsider or kind of outcast. There was a point in Japanese history or culture where otaku weren't considered just geeks. They were considered just absolute weirdos that just obsessed over like one thing. Anime, manga, tech, anything like we consider nerdy. And like here we'll be like, oh, they're just a geek. They're just very nerdy. Like in Japan, like an otaku is like someone who is absolutely dedicated to that certain thing.
So this year was year one of AnimeNYC. It was
it's a baby con.
Presented by Crunchyroll, and it took place in New York City at the
Javits Center, which is where they have Comic-Con.
Now, Comic-Con is a massive experience. Unlike Comic-Con, AnimeNYC was much more quaint. But it was year one, so it's kind of
I feel like it's just a stepping stone. It's going to get bigger.
It was small, but it didn't suffer from being small.
Yeah,
like, it was small enough to just be a nice, cozy convention. There wasn't too many people. There was still enough people to the point where, like, later on when we talk about Artist Alley, it was cramped there. But yeah, no, there was a good size amount of people.
It wasn't insufferable like a Comic-Con where you're literally shoulder to shoulder wherever you go, and here it was nice and spread out.
Like
and
most conventions, they had panels. They had a dealer's room, which was rather large. They had a gaming section, Japanese games, which
that we didn't get to play any of because
which were crowded beyond belief.
Because the people that were playing them were insane. Like they had mad skills.
Yeah,
and they were. I'm sure each person on that line was playing that game for like an hour.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same reason why arcades are kind of like dying out here in America is like the people that would go and play the arcade games are the ones that master it and like spend like a good chunk of money just playing that game for like 3 hours straight. I was really looking forward to that. Didn't get to play any of the games.
We got to watch.
We got to watch them though.
And
yeah.
it was very interesting.
There was this cool sniper game that I didn't get to see, but the name was what really got my attention. I think it was like Bone Shooter.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Something weird.
So like these arcade cabinets were all like arcade cabinets from Japan. They were Japanese arcade cabinets.
And they were not in English, the game.
They were not.
Yeah,
they were Japanese. They were all in Japanese, and apparently the Japanese really love their rhythm games.
Oh, yeah. Like, that was amazing. Watching that one guy with that rhythm game, he was going faster than anyone I've ever seen here. Like, it was absolutely amazing.
Like, 9 out of 10 of those arcade cabinets were rhythm games.
Yeah, most people say that Japanese gamers are better than American gamers.
They
are. Because of that, I think, is the reason.
They
have those rhythm games
their reaction time
aren't very big
rehearsed.
Here. We have a handful of them, but they're not very big. But because of that, their reaction time is instant. It's so crazy. I was just like I was
really
mesmerized
does train your brain.
Watching these guys play.
The last thing I think we had
modern day samurai
was like the modern day samurai. They're just tapping buttons in time to the music, and then you see like giant carrot spaceships fly across the street.
Today's heroes.
Today's heroes. From what I've heard from other podcasts, that Japanese arcades work is that you get a playing card, and that card is your ID. And you use your ID, your player profile, and you can switch your player profile to every arcade cabinet. And it tracks your scores. You put money on it, so you swipe your card, and then you play the game. And some of these arcade games are online. So, like, there's this, like, shooting gun game that you can play against people in another arcade. Like, it tracks your progress, it logs you on. It's, like, full anime
That's pretty
stuff.
cool.
I wonder if some of these are on Steam.
I don't know.
I'm sure some
we can always look.
Steam is pretty maybe.
Maybe.
I will definitely
like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see us do a Steam review.
And then, make fools of ourselves. I'm trying to find these rhythm games.
Ask us down in the comments.
So, AnimeCon was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We went on Sunday, which was definitely the quietest.
Just typical for cons.
Yeah.
Most relaxing of the days. I wanted to read off some of the things that they did have on the other days. So, for example, they had voice actors from Sailor Moon come, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Sailor Moon's been going on forever. You know, it seems. So it definitely went away for a while, but it's come back. They had voice actors from Overwatch. Yeah, they had surprisingly an interesting amount of
I snuck a picture of them
and stuff.
Yeah,
such a big fan of Overwatch, and I know I mentioned at one point why do I love Overwatch so much? It's kind of like an anime to me. I don't know why, but the little the clips that they have about the characters, they're just they're as animated as anime characters, even though the style is different.
I think the pull with Overwatch is its characters. Its roster of characters are very anime. They're very archetypal characters. Even so, they feel like their own people. When you pick an Overwatch character, you're not just picking a role, you're also playing the character, and it feels like that when you're playing the game. Say you pick Tracer, the one that Blizzard loves.
I got this under control.
Oh God, help me. So when you play Tracer, you feel like you're Tracer, and you're going you're zooming through time and space, and you're shooting people with pistols. If you're playing Reinhardt, you feel like a German knight, and you're just going I'm gonna hammer everybody. But this is gonna be great. Whap!
I was really debating on suggesting an episode just about Overwatch, the stories and the just because it's not an anime, but to me it feels like one, and to see the voice actors of Overwatch at AnimeCon just made me really happy.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Some of the other big things they had going on, Gundam Thunderbolts was a big presence there at the con.
See, he's looking at me because I've recently gotten very into Gundam modeling. But unfortunately, I don't know everything about Gundam. I have no idea what Gundam Thunderbolt is.
Oh, okay.
The only Gundam show that I've watched religiously within the last 10 years was Iron-Blooded Orphans. And I'm not even finished with season 1 yet. While I am starting to dip my toes into the Gundam world and getting very excited about it and getting very into making the models, I don't really know a bunch of Gundam history, but
You're just starting to get into it though.
Yeah, I am learning. I'm willing to learn.
They also had the first premiere of the Full Metal Alchemist live action movie. Unfortunately, that was a ticketed event.
Quick.
None of us got to go.
So
that'll eventually come down the line on our bonus content or Patreon. But yeah, it was just a fun, interesting, low-key kind of time. I crashed pretty quick for some reason. The day started off very straight.
So we're going to talk about how we got there and how bit by bit of how the con was. The day started with them picking me up at my place, and then immediately having to come back to their place because they forgot their badges.
Yeah, it was an early morning.
Yeah.
I don't operate very early in the morning.
He woke up 5 minutes before they left.
Yeah.
So
I basically had to drag him out of bed.
Yeah, it was very funny. So we knew that we were going to make our first train. We've all been to cons before. This is a rookie con mistake. Con goer's mistake.
Oops.
But we get there, we see all these school buses, and we find out from one of the people running it, there's work being done on the tracks.
Yeah,
so
no train.
There wasn't going to be a train.
L-I-R-R.
Yeah, there wasn't going to be a train from Ronkonkoma anyway. So we ended up taking these school buses down to Hicksville and from Hicksville to Penn Station. And the best part was that they were school buses.
Yeah, and we're going on a field trip.
They were in the row behind me, and I look over, I'm like, you guys ready for the field trip? We're going to have so much fun. We're going to the city. I'm going to get snacks.
Oh my God.
And there were these two other people going to the same convention, and they just thought that was hilarious. So that was fun. Then we get there. We get to Penn Station. We're rushing to the con. We've actually only gotten there 10 minutes later than we thought than we had planned to be there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so all in all, it wasn't terrible.
Oh no, it was. Yeah. It just made the morning interesting.
Yeah.
It just happened to also be incredibly cold that day.
Oh yeah, it was super,
dear Lord.
super
windy,
cold.
I was thinking this is it. This is how I'm gonna go.
This is how we're gonna die.
Yeah, this is the end of it. I'm done. So it was pretty chilly.
We ended up running into several cosplayers on the way there. Ruby cosplayers. Her shtick was the fact that she committed to using Ruby's voice, voiced by Lindsay Jones. So she well. She liked to speak in Ruby's high-pitched voice. We're like, I don't know, guys, do you really want to do this? I'm wise, I'm rich. She did that, and we ran into her like several times at the con, and she stuck with it. She stayed in character. I was like, this poor girl.
She's not.
She was.
She
great.
Probably to this day does not have her voice back.
Yeah, probably.
It's shot. But she did such a great job, and she said that she got to speak to Lindsay at Comic-Con when she went there, and she said that she even got the thumbs up from her as far as her.
We're sorry we don't remember your name. But we do hope you're listening, because I know we gave you a card for our anime podcast, so let us know, reach out to us.
I don't think we asked her name.
No, her name was Ruby that day.
Her name is Ruby.
Feel free to reach out to us, and we'll give you ways to do that at the end of the episode.
At that point on, though, I
Anime
was constantly looking out for other Ruby cosplayers, and we did get a picture of a couple of them.
And as embarrassed as she was to take their picture, I was like, hey, can my friend take your picture?
And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah. So we got to the con, we met Ruby, get online, I get my badge because I had delayed buying my badge. Bridget had to convince me to go. I wasn't going to go because I don't usually do cons anymore. I used to when I was younger.
Until that fateful day.
Until that fateful day. On that day, humanity remembered. We were all just in a cage. Anyway, that was Attack on Titan.
We got a official AnimeNYC Con pin.
Yeah, for going for the first year.
Going for the first year.
Pin.
Yeah, we went in, we scoured the dealer rooms a little bit.
I almost spent all of my money in one booth. If anyone's gone to a convention before, you know that you don't spend all your money in one booth.
That's a rookie mistake.
It's a rookie mistake. Unfortunately, even though I had waited until the end of the day before, like, buying this one thing from one booth, I ended up spending most of my money in one booth. It was the Gunpla booth. It was
after looking around and deciding, you know what, I've seen everything here and I still want all this stuff.
Right.
So that's okay. But if you just run in and 10 minutes in, you just drop all your money on this one vendor and you're like, crap, what have I done? I
still need to eat. We didn't eat lunch. What am I gonna do?
Of the things we bought, I got a cooperative card game based on Sword Art Online called Sword of Fellows. It actually seems really cool. We haven't given it a try yet, but we will soon.
We're gonna try this out.
We'll let you know how it is.
We can play it today.
It's for ages 10 and up. And you can have 1 to 4 players, and usually takes about 30 minutes to play.
So this is a big deal because John never buys anything at cons. Ever.
Yeah, that's true. I'm very picky.
I kind of lose myself in all the cute stuff.
It was fantastic.
There's a lot of really cute things.
We turn around and she's at a different booth than she was a second ago, holding and squeezing a plushy thing that she just caught eyes with.
Listen, audience, listen to me. It was amazing. Every few booths, she would see a cat. And she would lose her goddamn mind. She would find a cat. And there was this giant plushy cat, which I can see on her bed right now, that she would just stretch. It was hilarious. And she'd turn to John and be like, it's cute. Can I get it?
Can I keep it?
And he was like, you know what your limit is. You do you. And she goes to go pay for it. She goes to go pay for it, and I hear his soul die a little bit, and then him whisper, but remember, we're planning a wedding. It was fantastic. I
stayed under my limit.
I think
I saw to see a grown man die inside. It was fantastic.
3 cat things were bought that day?
4.
I thought, really?
I think it was 4.
I bought the 2 plushy things.
Okay.
I got 3 cat things.
And then Blake, you bought?
I bought a crap ton of Gundams. Sorry, I know you don't like swearing.
You find at cons a lot, actually, more recently. I've seen they do, these mystery bags, mystery boxes.
Oh, they're huge.
You drop, anywhere between, $30 to, $100.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a random assortment. The idea is that you're actually getting more than what you're spending, but you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Right. So, we went to the Bluefin booth, which was, right near the door. Great choice for them. And, like, they had a display of all these Gundam models, and I think they could see me drooling. Because I've gotten very into them recently. Like, I've gotten very into modeling. They're very fun to put together. They're very small pieces, and they're very detailed. Some are better than others. Some require stickers. Some would be better off with painting.
It's a fun art project.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into the painting yet, but, like, I've been very into Gundam modeling. It's very cool. So I went in there first. When we first got there, I bought these 2 small $8 Mega Man figures. I looked at all these Gundams and I was like, there's too many. Like, I don't know what I'm going to get. I want all of them, but I can't. So I saw I saw a grab bag where it said it was like an $85 value for $50. I'm probably going to get that, but we walked around first, and then we get back to the booth, because I was like, you know what? I made my decision. I'm going to get this bag. And there was a line. There was a line for a booth.
It wrapped around.
It wrapped around 3 sides.
Yeah, it wrapped around 3 sides.
And it was big.
Am I seriously going to do this? Am I going to wait 30 minutes to buy Gundam models?
At first you were like,
John,
no.
And I was like, no. And then John looked at me. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you would have regretted not going back and getting it.
So, like, John hung out with me for a bit. Bless his heart.
I ran off to right across the way was a really big booth vendor, book vendor, where they had all these, they had a lot of, like, art of Miyazaki, which I eyed them, but I know they're cheaper on Amazon, so it was good. But that's where I got the Spirited Away playing cards, and I got, like, another, oh, that's right, I did. I got another cat thing. It was, the keychain. It wasn't plushy, though.
Oh, yes,
it was a keychain.
And it said, "Why am I sushi?" on the outside.
Oh, yes, the sushi.
And there were, like, different, very realistic-looking cats that were on a bowl of rice, making them sashimi.
Should take pictures of everything and throw it on our Instagram.
Well, actually, all the merchandise that we got, because they're amazing, I am going to put them online. I'll put them on Instagram and our Patreon page, though.
So, in the grab bag, I got 4 model kits. One of them I recognized, and it was the worst one from that show. I didn't get any of the ones from the cover of the bag, but it was still cool. It was still cool to put that one together, but it's just blatantly pink. It's blatantly pink, and I didn't like it.
Is it a girl's, or is it just the guy
it's not.
Really likes pink?
I don't know. I don't know what the dude's thing was, but it was from Iron-Blooded Orphans. It was the Mark II version of the Grey's mobile suit, which is the basic cannon fodder of the show. The one that the main character kills a bunch. So they captured this one, they painted it pink, they gave it eyes, and it was like the Ryusei Go. It was very cool.
It sounds fantastic.
It was cool to put together, and I figured out I could always paint it.
Yeah,
because that's
I
a
even
big
have
thing.
Like model paint, I think.
Yeah,
but I think you should leave it. But then walking around, I saw somebody with a tray of onigiri, and I freaked. I'm like, oh my god, where did you get this?
Yeah,
and we spent 20 minutes looking for it.
She got, like, depressed because she couldn't find it for a while.
I know. I was determined. You were like, you know what? It's fine. We have all the ingredients at home to make it. And I was like, but we're here now. Like,
I wanted onigiri today. So we found it. Bought her some onigiri. And we shared it. It was good.
In addition to the dealer's room and the gamer area, they had Artist Alley, which was really cool. A lot of local amazing artists.
Yeah, amazing artists. And anime style.
It was
a lot of fan art.
It was also deceptively big. So like when we first went up to the second floor to go into Artist Alley, I thought it was just that 2 rows of booths.
And then we get to the end and it forks.
Right, we get to the end and it's this whole other bit of room, and it's just packed with booths. And I was like, oh my god.
I mean, I just collected the business cards of all the artwork that I really liked, because there's no financial way I could actually acquire all these things.
Buy all these artworks.
Or the space to put them, but
you did get
an
Overwatch mouse pad, which
is
very
I did.
Cool. She has it at her job.
Yeah, it's at work.
Yeah.
And I also have a picture of that. But it's, it's a nice way to bring my nerdom to the office.
Nerdom.
The other thing I bought was I wasted $12 on Ruby cereal.
It's not a waste.
It was
wonderful.
for the box art. It was Pumpkin Pete's. If you guys remember the Ruby episode and you remember Pyrrha, there was a bit where in the show where Pyrrha mentions that she was sponsored by Pumpkin Pete's cereal, and she was on a cereal box. I was like, oh, this is a great callback to the show. $12, whatever. And maybe it'll be good cereal. And then I tried some at the con. I was like, this is just Lucky Charms.
Yeah, but Lucky Charms is the best.
Yeah, but Lucky Charms isn't $12.
Yeah, but we get to keep the box.
Yeah, sure.
Keep the box forever.
Some nice cardboard art.
Chocolate Chex is the best. But,
oh, God.
Oh, no.
They actually tried to sell me Reptar bars. This was the FYE booth, by the way. They tried to sell me Reptar bars, and I didn't get one. I actually got one yesterday for Black Friday, because I was at the mall. I bought one.
You were daring, sir.
It was okay. It was chocolate.
No, I meant to go on Black Friday.
It wasn't like when a bunch of sales were. The most annoying bit was the fact that I had to look for parking like 20-30 minutes. I got off easy. But anyway, that has nothing to do with the con. And so I threw away $12 on cereal.
It's $12. I spent $8 on my little plushie cat that's on my desk at work.
Yeah, but you can love that.
I love it forever. And whenever, so I sit next to someone who gets kind of stressed out at times. I'm like, here, do you want to pet the cat? And he gives it like a little squeeze and he smiles. I'm like, because it's like so freaking cute. I'm like, don't you feel better? And he's like, yeah. Yeah, it's a therapeutic little squishy cat that even people who don't really like cats can appreciate. So, best $8 ever.
Yeah.
Everyone should go and get one.
There was a lot of good cosplay. Do you guys remember anything that stood out?
Well, we saw like 4 different Ruby cosplayers. We saw...
The Pyrrha one was great.
We saw Pyrrha, where you said, I'm sorry to her.
Yeah, I said rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
whatever.
well, it's been announced, so it's good.
We saw a Weiss, we saw Ruby,
yes,
we saw
Blake was good too.
Blake, but we didn't see any Yang cosplayer, which was annoying.
No Yang.
Yeah, my girl.
I saw Yang at Comic-Con.
Yeah, she's my favorite too.
Yeah,
but I feel like the costumes were all really cool. Yeah. But they weren't like on the crazy level of Comic-Con where people build things.
I remember
that like have their own computer system in them, and I could just they look like they can fly, and like the people go all out, like spend a lot of money on their costumes, and it was like a nice normal level at this con. Again, I think it'll grow.
I remember seeing a picture from last Comic-Con where someone dressed up as the Javits Center. So there was nothing as crazy as that. I'm not kidding you, man.
They were the Javits Center? That's awesome.
Yeah, at this con, I saw, like, a bunch of cool cosplays. I think there was a Archer from Fate's Day.
Yes, there was one.
There was an Archer.
That was a great costume.
What else was there? There was a bunch of cool stuff.
I mean, there was literally anything you can think of.
We're all having a good time. At this point, we decided to take out a panel.
Oh, yeah.
The panels were a little interesting on Sunday.
Well, here's the thing. We didn't decide on nothing because they don't make plans to do anything on a con.
We like to go with the flow.
In our defense.
So it basically became...
We flow well.
Blake, what do you want to do today?
We're free-spirited people.
Hold on. In our defense, we go to now a total of 3 different cons. We go to New York Comic-Con, AnimeCon, LI WhoCon. LI WhoCon, you can get into any panel at any time, no matter what.
You don't really need to.
New York Comic-Con, you cannot get into any panel at any time. Yeah. It is always booked. There's no way to get into it. So we were kind of going in here blind, unsure of what to expect.
We're kind of just feeling it out.
It out. It's year 1 anyway. So,
but it basically became, Blake, what do you want to do? And that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody. Because I was like, what am I going to do to keep them having fun?
Oh, so you're not an entertainer.
It felt like that.
But we were interested in, it was a panel about ramen.
Right. We went
and
to
I was like, if they have ramen in there, I'll be really excited.
Yeah. It was the New York City NYC
Ramen Summit.
Ramen Summit.
Yeah, so yeah.
Which apparently
we had no idea what to expect.
We didn't know what we were getting into. Apparently, it was supposed to be about these 3 owners of ramen shops in New York City. They did not bring samples. And when they started talking, it was the most dull conversation I knew it was going to be.
Actually, it wasn't even a conversation yet. It was just the host doing the intro.
It was 3 different chefs.
We couldn't sit there.
It was 3 different chefs who obviously make and own their own business in New York.
And one introducer.
And they were doing a history panel on ramen.
Right.
Which I think would have been interesting if they had somebody excited about it. If somebody's excited about food and wants to talk about food, I will be
very
excited
cool.
and I'll get hungry. And then they should sell it on the outside, and on their way out, everybody will buy their ramen.
That's why.
But it wasn't like that at all.
That's why, like, the Food Channel is so successful.
It was like they hit the snooze button. It was like, I was just like, whoa.
The guy introducing people didn't even know how to work the microphone.
Everybody was shouting, I can't hear you!
We can't hear you! John started it.
Yeah, I did.
So, like,
you should know better.
You should.
The microphone wasn't even directed to his face. So no one could hear him. So we've got...
And he was just talking really like this, you know.
Yeah.
Let me start introducing everybody.
Let me start introducing
I'm just like, oh God. People. I'm like, guys,
so
we gotta get out of here.
It was 8 minutes.
Gotta get out of here.
It was 8 minutes in when I looked to both John and Bridget and I said, want to get out of here? And she had gotten her giant cat plush, made it look at me, made it nod, yes, yes. Right. And I was like, let's dip. Let's get out of here.
I forgot I did that with the cat plushie. Oh my God, it's the most amazing plushie ever. It's
as we all know, hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
Inside the AnimeNYC official program guide, it does give a brief description of what NYC Ramen Summer is.
Are you serious? We didn't read the book! Oh no!
That is a rookie mistake.
Rookie mistakes all day.
Oh no.
This is a good example of what not to do.
It's like seeing a pond, finding an alligator in it, and then finding out that there was a sign in front of the pond saying alligator-infested waters. Do not go in. We messed up. Oh no.
But again, it was our first year, and
we'll be more prepared next year.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't hard to get tickets. Some of the better panels and events do sell out when they're ticketed. So I think I would want to plan those ahead of time. Like, I really would have liked to see the movie.
How expensive do you think that the ticket was? The ticket for the Sunday
probably like $20
was $40.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the ticket to get into AnimeCon?
Right.
Yeah, which is
they're about they're about anywhere between 40 and 50 or 40 and $60 individual days, and then it's usually like 75 to like 95
for a full weekend
pass, depending.
So I don't know how expensive that you think that is, but I think it's kind of expensive.
It's expensive, especially if you don't live directly in.
Yeah, we live 2 hours from the.
You also have to worry about lodging if you're going to stay or travel,
and that
can be a really pain in the ass. Something
expensive.
You definitely have to.
I like to pick, look at what's available in the 3 days and pick your favorite and enjoy that one day to the fullest and then save your money after that.
It's kind of like one of the reasons why I don't do cons anymore is because it basically became buy a ticket so that you can buy stuff.
Right.
And since I don't really have a lot of space in my room now, like I was like, do I really want to spend all this money to buy things that I can't even put anywhere?
Right.
So that's why Bridget had to convince me to go. But
I think what we should do is... I think
we all had a good time.
We should take the time and make a cool costume and then agree that when we get there, we'll just get one nice thing as a memento, but really make it about just,
hanging out.
Yeah, otaku life.
Down the street.
Everybody, sharing their love for anime under one big roof. That's what it should be about. But a lot of times with all these vendors, you get blinded by the cute, squishy things, and you spend a lot of money.
Says the one person that got distracted by the cute, squishy things. I got distracted by the awesome mech robot models.
The manly mechs, and I like the squishy kitties.
She liked the squishy kitties. And John was just the stoic priest who didn't spend money.
Until he found
praise be unto him, he is the strongest of us all.
He really is. He's my voice of reason.
I felt bad though that I didn't think that he was enjoying himself, so I ended up buying him a Dragon Ball Z scanner, which I can see over there. We also have a picture of him wearing it. It looks a lot cooler than I thought it was.
Guys.
Scanner. It scans power levels.
The Scouter. It's called the Scouter. I'm just letting
you goddamn nerd. Nerd alert. Nerd. Whatever. He likes it. That's all that matters.
I also think I have my costume choice for next year. Priest from Blue Exorcist, the father who raises the boys. I mean, do we have anything else that...
was there anything really that happened on the way back? Oh, yeah, we got train beer.
Yeah,
we got to have a nice beer at Penn Station before heading on the way back.
What is that place called?
Tracks.
Shout out to Tracks.
Shout out to Tracks.
You know what? You could walk right past it and not even see it.
I never even knew it was there.
It's really small.
It's
but
actually
it's really
long.
Large. Yeah. It's long, and it has like a plastic like train theme. It has like mementos from old trains and conductors and stuff like that in there.
But yeah, you could sort of see the workings of AnimeCon. You can definitely tell how it's going to expand next year.
Yeah, because it's only the first year, and it was still well done. A lot of people were there.
Surprisingly interesting voice actors showed up, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, the Overwatch voice actors was a nice surprise. I do have one complaint, is that...
Way to kill the mood, Bridget.
No, but it's a suggestion. I really like that we did find the onigiri. But, I mean, they really need to step it up with the food there.
Why wasn't there more Japanese food there?
Like, I understand that the Japan Center has their own food, restaurant, like, small fast food there. Mm-hmm. But for the sake of an anime convention, you need to bring in some kind of food vendors.
There should have been a ramen cart.
Absolutely.
For an anime convention, I also felt there wasn't a whole lot of other Japanese culture present at the con.
There was a bit there.
A tiny bit.
Yeah, we saw one booth that was selling like traditional kimonos.
Yeah.
Well, it was anime New York City. It is an anime convention. It's not a Japanese festival.
I understand.
Like when you want to learn more about Japanese history and culture, there's the Sakura Matsuri festival in the city.
Yeah, which he hasn't been to yet, and it's phenomenal. You know why? Because the last couple years it fell on a weekend that we were busy or away or...
Gotcha.
I think it was like Mother's Day weekend. Yeah. And we were at Hershey on rides and eating chocolate. So, too bad.
Well, if you want to go for next year, I'll go with you guys for that one too. Yeah, and you can do another episode on that.
That's where I first met one of my favorite artists. And
Ukiyo-e Heroes. That guy.
The one that, the prints that we have in the living room. That I took a picture of the vendor booth. The artist wasn't there, but he had somebody running his booth. And I'll post a picture of his work because he takes very common... favorite cartoon characters, and he makes them look like an old block print, which it actually is made that way. It's block of wood is carved, and if you go onto his website, you can actually see the carving of the wood blocks, and then they're made into prints, and they look
before they're inked and put on the paper.
Cool. Yeah.
I remember at the con, I saw this Monster Hunter block print that he made, just wishing that I had space on my walls to, like, frame it and put it on there. I didn't end up getting it. One day. It was so cool.
You should put it on the ceiling.
I don't know how that would work. Just
start covering the ceiling. Put the posters on the ceiling, and then put the prints on the wall.
I'm very sure my parents would get mad at me.
Oh, man. But yeah, other than, like, food...
Yeah, food could have been better.
I think that everything else was pretty solid. If they just keep expanding and building, like if they have more games for people to play,
a larger gaming area,
right? Or at least
I don't even need
dedicated lines.
Yeah, I don't even necessarily need to play it. I'm more of interested just, like, understanding what the gaming culture is like in Japan.
Yeah, he would have been fine wanting me play, but, like, we didn't get to do it because I didn't want to fight that dense of people. There was no lines, there was no clear sense of, like, when someone's done playing,
gamers, because people were on them, like, for a long time.
And I didn't know who was even running it, so I couldn't even talk to someone and be like, does this whole situation work?
I think it was just go up.
If you guys plan to go to AnimeCon next year, here's how I recommend doing it. When you first get in, go immediately to the gaming session. Pick 1 or 2 games that you like to try and get those, get that experience in right away. Because the vendors are going to keep restocking throughout the day. You're going to have your time to sort of just peruse, and that way you're also not carrying anything. Until the end of the day when you're ready to buy stuff. Yeah. Plan your panels out. Do a little research on the panels.
I did a small amount of research. There was 2 panels I was going to pick. It was either going to be the ramen panel or the what RPGs should you play? Like,
and are they worth your time?
Are they what are?
And the answer is yes.
RPGs? No, it was like RPGs that are worth your time.
Oh, okay.
Like shorter RPGs.
I thought
we should have gone to the RPG panel. That's my mistake.
It's okay.
I'll take that dishonor. That's on me.
I also recommend doing Artist Alley early, mostly
those
because
sell out.
They sell out
Limited
real quick.
prints
They
available.
are limited prints. It
And
gives you time.
even their business cards
just...
were selling out. They were running out of business cards.
Oh, I totally forgot one thing that I had a lot of fun doing at the con that they're probably going to cut this out, but I think it was hilarious. So I had this game that I liked to play that I just came up with at that con called Find the Hentai. Because at these conventions, you will find smut on accident. And
I felt bad. I was trying to take a nice picture of the Ruby girl and realized
was it in front of a hentai booth?
Yes. They have to censor everything, so they just have pieces of black paper covering everything, and it's all over.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
It's crazy that they have so much of that
stuff. Anytime we mention
stuff.
hentai, I think of Cassandra and her mom.
Go
oh my god, we were actually talking about that at the con, how she did such a funny impersonation of her mother. See, it's all porn. I don't know. Why do you watch this? It's just porn.
You got ladies with their tits out. It's all porn. I don't want to watch this. Why do you watch this dirty crap?
So whenever we see a busty cartoon character, we're like, that's it.
There it is. It's so my
rules.
Shout out to Cassandra.
So my rules for this were very loose. Where even basic ecchi could be considered part of it, to straight up nudity or stuff. I think I got up to 12 booths where I found something that was weird.
There were some booths that were dedicated to it.
Yeah,
straight
exclusive.
up dedicated.
And I would tell John and Bridget, and I could see them chuckle a little bit, but look down their noses at me. I could tell that they thought it was funny. But I thought it was hilarious. and they didn't share my enthusiasm.
We're not knocking anybody. Whatever you're into is what you're into.
We're not here to yuck anyone's yums. But I thought
such a gross saying.
That was what he used in the con, too.
It's such a disturbing, saying. It weirds me out.
Anyway, this has been Ghost in the Cloud. I hope you guys enjoyed it. John, take it away.
Well, no, that's kind of our recap of...
What is happening?
I don't know.
Leave it in. Please leave it in.
Oh my god, he's suffocating.
I'm
he's
good.
bad.
I'm good. I'm alright.
Oh man.
And there goes our listener base.
So
I
speaking
think it got better.
Talking about conventions, a long-term goal is that I'm hoping that with more support through Patreon, it would help us get to more cons on the East Coast. There was advertisements for the Boston Con. It looks pretty awesome. Boston is an amazing city. It's they have a lot of Asian grocery stores there, humongous, warehouse-sized ones that have everything that you could possibly want and more. Hope you're okay with that, John, because where I go, you go. That's it for our share of the convention. All the pictures that we were talking about, they will be posted on Patreon for everybody to see, and I will share links to that on our social media, and I'll also share it on Instagram.
I hope you don't hate me.
Not at all.
I hope our friendship isn't destroyed.
Not at all. Guys, one thing we need more than anything from our listeners is for you guys to rate and review us. We want to make the podcast better. Today's episode is a little off the rails, but that's what makes it fun.
This was a special episode. It wasn't our typical formula.
And every week we're bringing
emphasis
news.
On special.
We're going over new and old classic animes, but we want to know how to make the show better above all else. So please rate and review us. Give us some constructive criticism. We'd love to hear it. We could even read it on the air.
You know it's going to be a wild time when I show up. So
that's true.
If you want to see me again,
all right. Yeah, no, we'll definitely have you back, Blake. So,
all right.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Blake.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anthony, for our theme. And we'll talk to you next week.
Next week we're going to do Blue Exorcist is a great anime.
Back to our normal routine.
Back to our normal routine. Next special will be our Christmas special.
Sumimasen. Sumimasen. Onegaishimasu.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Yeah.